Less than 2 hours after the white nationalist Richard Spencer finished speaking at the University of Florida on Thursday, 3 white men were arrested and charged with attempted homicide. According to the Gainesville police, the men chanted "Hail Hitler," gave Nazi salutes and fired a gun at a group of protesters about a mile south of Spencer's venue. The 3 men were photographed and seen in media interviews outside the venue, police spokesman Ben Tobias said, and at least 2 were known to have links to extremist groups. Taylor Tenbrink, 28, of Richmond, Texas, fired the guns, according to the police. The Gainesville Sun reported that Tenbrink was interviewed by one of its reporters hours earlier, and said he had driven from Houston to see Spencer speak. "This is a mess," Tenbrink reportedly told the Sun about the protests. "I'm disappointed in the course of things. It appears that the only answer left is violence, and nobody wants that." According to a researcher at the Anti-Defamation League ADL, Tenbrink has attended at least 7 white supremacist events. He is also a convicted felon, according to the police. This photo provided by the Alachua County Sheriff's Office shows Tyler Tenbrink. Photograph at William Fears. Photograph handout Reuters Colton Fears. Photograph handout Reuters brothers William Fears, 30 and Colton Fears, 28 of Pasadena, Texas, encouraged Tenbrink to shoot at the victims, police said. William Fears has been affiliated with Vanguard America and the Patriot Movement, according to Carla Hill, a researcher with the ADL Center for Extremism. He was seen jabbing a flag at counter-protesters in Charlottesville, Virginia, in August, she said, and screaming the whole time. All 3 men were present at the Charlottesville Unite the Right rally, Hill said. That weekend, a car attack after clashes in the streets left at least 19 counter-protesters injured and killed a 32-year-old woman, Heather Heyer. James Alex Fields, 20, who was photographed with Vanguard America at the rally, was charged with second-degree murder. Spencer has repeatedly said that he and his supporters are not violent and those who protest against him are the real threat. At his speech to hundreds of people at the University of Florida's Phillips Center on Thursday afternoon, he rejected accusations from the audience that he was responsible for violence carried out by followers of the alt-right movement. The majority of the audience stood, chanted, booed and raised their fists throughout his hour-long speech. When he mentioned Heyer, the crowd chanted "It's your fault, it's your fault," asked how it felt to have a room full of people accusing him of being responsible for a young woman's death. Spencer said, "I just don't take those people seriously. It's a joke to say something like that, so it doesn't touch me." He did not respond to a request for comment on the charges following his Gainesville event. At 5:30 p.m. on Thursday, about an hour and a half after Spencer left the stage, 3 men in a silver Jeep pulled up to a bus stop and yelled "Hail Hitler" and other chants at protesters, according to the police report. An argument ensued and a protester used a baton to hit the rear window of the vehicle. The car pulled forward, then stopped. Tenbrink emerged and pulled out a handgun. According to the report, the Fears brothers were yelling "Kill them and shoot them." Tenbrink fired a single shot, which hit a building. Then the men drove away. They were stopped and arrested about 20 miles north of Gainesville. Tenbrink admitted to being the shooter, according to the police report. All 3 men are being held in the Alachua County Jail. Gainesville police recovered a gun in the vehicle. Tobias, the police spokesman, said the victims were in their early to mid-20s and were carrying signs. Following department policy, he said, the victims were not identified to protect their safety. "I am amazed that immediately after being shot at, a victim had the forethought to get the vehicle's license number," Tobias said. That key piece of information allowed officials from every level of multiple agencies to quickly identify and arrest these persons. In September, the Dallas Morning News quoted 30-year-old William Fears as denying belong to any white supremacist group but saying Nazi is like the N-word for white people, he said. "And I just embrace it." He was identified by the paper as having protested against the removal of a statue of Confederate General Robert E. Lee from a park in the city. The Gainesville Sun quoted William Fears on Thursday as saying, "We're starting to push back, we're starting to want to intimidate back. We want to show our teeth a little bit because, you know, we're not to be taken lightly. We don't want violence, we don't want harm. But at the end of the day, we're not opposed to defending ourselves."